O'Reilly. Are your wiper blades chattering, skipping, or squeaking? Don't let streaks or smearing on your windshield compromise your visibility. When it's time to replace your wiper blades, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and see our selection. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades while you wait. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's nothing like snook hook sets at dawn or catching a tarpon in the moonlight. Find your next fishing trip made easy on fishingbooker.com and experience the magic of the Sunshine State or any other destination on your fishing bucket list. Book a blue water adventure in search of sailfish or go snapper fishing with the kids. With over 6,000 captains and trips to choose from, planning your next one just got a whole lot easier. Download the Fishing Booker app on the Google Play or App Store, or visit them online at fishingbooker.com to book your trip today.
Clean your gun and tune your bow. We're the Hunting Collective Show. Calling hunters new and old. The Hunting Collective Show. Where facts are facts and opinions are subjective. You're listening now to the Hunting Collective.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the penultimate episode of the Hunting Collective. I am, as always, Ben O'Brien, and I'm joined in studio by Phil T. Engineer Phil. How are you, sir?
Everybody knows that the penultimate episode
Yes.
is usually one of the best
Yes.
of a TV show,
You're
like
right.
a series or a
You're
season.
right. Correct.
We'll see if that's the case here.
You never know.
No.
It could be the best episode ever of this program right
Yeah.
now. So strap in. I don't know if you're in a place where there's any straps around, but get one and strap yourself to wherever you're sitting.
Yeah.
I don't know, don't move and lock in because you're about to get regaled with one of the nation's most riveting coming of age tales. And that is the tale of Phil T. Engineer's first turkey hunt. It's going to be, I will say this, I'm not going to say much about what happens other than to say it's a two-parter. There are two parts. This is, of course, the first of two parts. And we will reveal at some point along the way whether Phil killed a turkey or not. But more importantly than that, a few days back I shared a photo of Phil the Engineer on Instagram and Facebook where he was holding his turkey target. Now, we'll get to what happened, how that turkey target came to be full of tiny little holes. But Phil, the reaction was broad and it was interesting. And people, you're a hero. You are an inspiration.
That's one word. Yeah, sure.
People love you. Hundreds of comments poured in from across the world, nay, the globe. People love it, man. Somebody said greatest character arc of all time.
Yeah.
Phil is way less of a nerd than I originally anticipated. Still stoked on him, though. #legend. I've never wanted someone I've never met to shoot a turkey more than I want Phil to shoot a turkey. Good luck. Don't forget the TP, Phil, just in case.
It's a good poop callback.
Yeah, it really is. It's a good callback to the show. A lot of good lucks, a lot of yeah, boys. A lot of people talking about how you looked. What do you think about hundreds of people commenting on your looks as opposed to your voice? Because we did the voice face contest back in the infancy
Yeah.
of THC.
I totally understand the fascination because I've had the same experience.
You have.
Yeah. You listen to a radio show or a podcast and you just build up an image of somebody in your head.
Yeah.
And then you actually see them and it's usually disappointing. It's usually like,
well, this guy says Phil looks like Steve and Yanni are his dads.
That was a good one. And I see it. I kind of see it.
Phil looks a lot less nerdy than I imagined. That's a compliment.
Sure.
I imagine Phil is some nerdy early 30s chubby ginger with a beard. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm offended for chubby gingers everywhere on their behalf.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with a chubby ginger.
No.
Support for those folks. So there's a lot of people. This guy says, this is the first picture I've ever seen of Phil. Phil is not the character I draw up in my head. Well, people actually drew you up, and I don't think you look like what they drew. That's the whole point of it.
My favorite comment was something along the lines of, Phil looks less masculine than he sounds, and he doesn't sound very masculine.
This guy said,
I'll take it.
He is like a small infant child. Sweet boy.
Yep.
I hope he has fun in his first time out.
So thanks for all those comments.
Yeah, I could go on because there is hundreds of them. People from across the country sent us DMs. They sent us emails to thc@themeter.com wishing you well, and hoping that you would get a turkey. Mm-hmm. So this is by far, other than, I don't know, I think this is by far the biggest thing we've done as a podcast, and that is the last thing we'll ever do. So why not be the biggest? People are into it, Phil. People, they want it. Can you feel the pressure?
I can feel it, but it's surprisingly not weighing on me as much as I thought it would.
No, you were you were light as a feather.
I'm kind of brushing it off. Excuse me. I'm kind of brushing it off, but I don't mean that I'm brushing off the compliments as well.
Yeah.
I hear all the compliments, and it's I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad you're invested in my arc,
in your character arc.
the greatest character arc of all time, which is essentially just, hey Phil, have you ever gone hunting? Nope. We're going to take you hunting. And that was the arc, but people love it.
Yeah, well, that's it. If you stretch any small storyline out for 2 years, it seems like an epic tale.
Exactly.
And that's where we are. Now, we got a message from our friend Eric Hall. He had something to say.
Like to say something about that rare sighting of Phil T. Engineer on Facebook. That was like a Bigfoot sighting.
Yes.
Very rare.
Very rare. You don't see it often.
By the looks of the smile on his face, his number's gone up. So, looking forward to Phil's turkey hunt. The last 2 shows coming up.
There it is.
Kind of a build-up to Phil's turkey hunt being the last show.
Yep, that's it. He's right. The man is right.
Yes.
Thank rare sighting of Phil T. Engineer, like the Bigfoot allure of old. Maybe you will, once this show is over, your legend will continue, and people will continue to see you in places where you don't exist.
Or maybe I will just retreat to the woods.
Yeah.
And
grow a lot of chest hair.
exactly.
Grow a beard.
Yeah.
Grow a Skimpy McWeestache and come back. So let's lay out, Phil, what we're going to do here. This is a lot of work to tell this story. And again, as we mentioned, quite the build-up. So we're going to tell the story in its totality. We're going to lean into a linear tale of one man and another man and a truck and a turkey hunt.
And okay. I was going to say and some decoys.
We could just list out all the things that were there
in your truck.
A cup of coffee.
Uh-huh.
We're going to lean into it. We're going to tell you the whole story. And we're doing something a little bit different. Phil and I have decided that we're going to play our audio and do some color commentary of what was happening at the time it was happening.
Yeah, we're going to do some live commentary with some probably minimal editing from me. I'm thinking about future me right now.
You're talking
several hours from now when I sit down to edit this podcast. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of editing. We're just going to do it kind of on the fly here.
Yep. And if you don't like it, cancel us.
Ha!
Get rid of us. It doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want at this point. The worst thing could happen has already happened. And so we're pretty much flying by the seat of our pants if we weren't already before. As I've been saying, we kind of building a roller coaster while we're riding it. So this is Phil's first hunt. Hashtag, if you're going to post about this online, hashtag Phil's first bird.
Okay, is that the final hashtag you landed on?
That's the final hashtag I landed on. Phil's first bird.
Okay, because I think you've gone through several at this point.
Have you seen the video that I took, a slow-mo video of you jumping over that ditch?
Yes, I saw it before I came over here today.
Would you have any official comments about it?
I look fantastic.
A lot of people love it, dude. A lot of people are into it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your strategy while jumping over this.
Well, my first strategy
This
was
ditch.
watching you,
Yes.
so I could learn from your mistakes. And you shorted it barely.
I put a foot in the water.
Yeah, there was a foot in the water.
If you,
so
if you guys haven't seen it, you got to go to my Instagram, BennyB301. I took a slow-mo video of Phil leaping majestically in his new Schnee's boots, which we'll get to,
yes,
over this ditch that had filled with some runoff, so it's full of water. And at first, Phil didn't know if he could make it over the ditch. And I said, well, let me jump over first and then film you in slow-mo for posting online later.
Yep.
So that's what we did. And it's pretty majestic. One guy said it's like watching poetry. Such grace.
I can't disagree.
How are your ACLs feeling? Somebody wants to know.
My legs feel great. To show you how not in shape I am. I think I actually overextended my arm, so my arm was sore for like a half hour after I made that jump. Somehow, don't know how.
Okay,
but that's how my body works.
All right. Well, all the highlights from the hunt are going to be on my Instagram. As you listen to this, they'll be there. BennyOB301 on Instagram, so you can see some of the visual highlights. But we have the audio highlights of this hunt, and let me just tell you, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of things have happened. And we're going to lay them out over the next 2 episodes, the final 2 episodes of THC. And I can't wait for you to see how it ends. Okay, Phil? You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Now play some sort of awesome intro music right here.
I believe in the turkey in me. I believe in the turkey in me.
So we struck out. First thing we had to do was we had to strike out to what we'll call sight in the shotgun, to pattern the shotgun, the Weatherby 18i that we had selected for Phil for his first hunt. We went out to some local public land to sight in the shotgun. Now, what happened on the way there is, I think, emblematic of this entire story. We didn't really get this on video or audio, but we're driving up a gravel road to this kind of what we'll call a public land shooting range, close to my domicile here. And we're driving past a set of homes. And there's kind of a rancher-style home tucked in this little, the bosom of this little ridge.
Yeah.
And in the yard is many things. Many things are there. Rusty farm implements.
Uh-huh.
There was chickens, a few chickens.
Yeah, it was not unlike someplace a hobbit would live.
Yeah.
It was like tucked into a hillside.
It really was,
with a bunch of just animals and random stuff scattered about.
Gentle smoke coming from the chimney.
Uh-huh.
And there in the yard was a turkey.
First turkey sighting as a part of Phil's first hunt. Hashtag Phil's first bird.
Hashtag Phil's first bird. The first turkey we saw was really emblematic of the rest of our journey. Let me try to describe this turkey to you, Phil, and you help me out here if I'm getting this wrong. This turkey, first picture some sort of goblin from the depths of Hades, and then a turkey. And then mix those two things together, and that's what you get. This turkey could barely walk. It had maybe 6 or 7 of its tail feathers. It could barely, it was shaking uncontrollably. Its head was like the size of a cantaloupe, and it was just kind of like wandering around this yard like a zombie.
Mm-hmm. It was walking as if it were bow-legged somehow, but it wasn't bow-legged, but it was walking like that.
It could barely, yes. If I had just punted it in the cloaca, it looked like it was in massive amounts of pain. It had like gyrating wing feathers, like a palsy of some kind.
Yeah, I'd like to think this turkey had seen better days earlier in its life. I hope so.
I hope it did. Because it was infirmed in a way that I've never seen any wild creature in my life. But it was almost like a sign that this was going to be weird. That this coming of age tale, was just going to be strange, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. I've never seen a turkey like that. I got out my call. I hit the diaphragm a few times, and it let out this sad, dust-filled gobble that could only be described as depressing. You could barely hear it. And it was only 10 yards away from the truck.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever that turkey is today, and it's probably right under that same tree, it is now the mascot for this whole 2-episode run.
Okay.
Sad as a mascot though it may be, you know, R.I.P. that turkey because it's going to die soon. I mean, it's probably from natural causes or unnatural causes. I was looking around for like a power plant, a nuclear power plant.
Sure, like some neon ooze was coming out of a pipe, and it was the turkey was eating it.
Yeah, I thought, is this thing wearing an eye patch? Like, has it been shanked by one of these other turkeys? I'll never forget it as long as I live. When I close my eyes just now, I can see it. I can see its face staring into my face. So anyway, that's I don't even think it had a beard. It was grotesque. It was just grotesque. So write into thc@themeateater.com and name that turkey. Skippy Mc No Beard. Whatever you want to name that turkey, but he will be the mascot for the rest. We'll go back and get video because he couldn't go far. Like physically.
Oh, sure. He's there. He's got to be.
Do you think he roosts in it? He can't fly up in a tree. He probably just lays down on the ground when he goes to sleep. Just lays on the ground. So anyway, that's kind of my first and most searing memory from our journey, Phil.
Yeah.
Was that it was an omen from the turkey gods to watch the fuck out. Shit was about to get Western. Okay. And what happened after that was completely unbelievable. No one would believe it, but you're about to hear it. So we moved past this mutant turkey and shocked in awe, you know, kind of Twitter-pated a little bit. And we move up to the shooting range. And the shooting range portion of this certainly was all about education, right, Phil?
Yeah. I mean, I had never fired a shotgun before.
Yes.
So this was it.
So we get out there and we are preparing, and I need to go through what the gun is, what it does. Imagine you're 32, 3?
My age?
Yeah, 30?
I am 30.
30.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it right on the first try. 30.
Yep, exactly.
You're 30-year-old man. You've done a lot of things in your life, but you've never shot a shotgun. You never pulled the trigger on the shotgun.
I got very into airsoft in high school. That's as far as I got.
I met not yesterday, yesterday, a couple of days ago, I met a fella that had never tried pineapple. 20 years old, never had pineapple. So watch this full-grown adult human eat this pineapple. It was amazing. So this is a lot of what it was like for Phil. And so we get out there, and I want to say hilarity ensues, but it was pretty normal. And so here's me teaching Phil a little bit about the shotgun. Okay, Phil, are you ready, sir?
Yes, I've had my iced coffee.
Yep, of course.
I've had you've had your yerba mate.
This is what most people at the range do. They talk about their caffeinated beverages.
Yeah.
Anything you want? Any questions before I go through the shotgun and the task here?
Not yet. No, I'm ready to learn. I have some more turkey specific questions for later, but right now I think I just need to hold a gun in my hand. Yep. Probably.
All right. Well, here's the gun. So this is a Weatherby 18i. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. We got to be honest. It was very windy. So we went into my truck, and I didn't actually have the shotgun.
No.
I was miming the whole time. So let's just keep going. It was sad. This big piece in the back is the whole thing is the stock.
Yes.
The big thing in the back is the butt stock.
Now that you've told them, this is silly.
Your shoulder that's the whole point. The butt of the gun. Mm-hmm. And there's a recoil pad on that helps to cushion that recoil that you're going to feel from the Let me stop again. I'm trying to be the expert of experts here. I'm super worried that people will think that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you're going over every little part of the gun.
Yeah. I think I was even reading off something on my phone. The shot when you pull the trigger. So there's the trigger guard. Put your finger right there.
You see that?
There's nothing's happening.
Guarding the trigger.
It's totally
Doing a
fake.
good job.
Never put your finger on the trigger and even inside that trigger guard until we're ready
Yep.
to go.
No.
Yep.
All right.
For sure.
And then here's the safety, so you can push it back and forth and see as the action is open, you can see that
There's
there's
no
no
shotgun
round,
there.
so you can push that back and forth and see safety was when the red indicator is showing, and on safe is when the red indicator is not showing. And here at the range, we won't do this in the field, but here in the range, when that safety clicks off, you just say fire in the hole, which means I'm preparing to shoot, which lets me know that you're getting ready to send some shot
Okay,
down.
so now you're educated, Phil.
Yes.
You're educated.
I was holding the gun in my hand.
Yeah.
Inspecting all the parts you were showing me.
It was kind of like an air gun. It's made of air.
There you go.
But we actually did later than inspect. It's the magic of audio here. We're just letting you into the creative work that goes into a show like this.
Yeah, you should be grateful that Ben was so honest with you.
Yeah,
he's really
exactly.
he's really opening up.
Yeah,
in these last episodes.
Nuance. And then we did other stuff. Okay, it's getting a little windy out here. We're on America's public lands. I always say America's public lands, like they'd be somewhere else. I'm gonna show you what you're doing here, Phil. You're gonna be shooting these federal TSS loads, these heavyweight TSS.
Sponsor
Stands
alert.
for Tungsten Super Shot. These are 3-inch shells. They have 9 shot, and it's 1 3/4 ounce shot inside of there. So we're gonna put these babies right in here, and then when we hit this button, it's gonna be chambered. Right, we're gonna be ready to fire. Okay, safety there, like I showed you, and then this is the magazine where you'll be able to insert the extra shells which will be cycled through when you pull the trigger.
I'm really doing a great job.
Semi-automatic. Okay?
Got it.
Got it? Now, on to the next thing we recorded. All right. Eyes and ears. Safety. See, we're doing it right.
Yep.
We made sure to eyes
All right,
and ears.
this turkey is
Communication was
probably
important.
about, how far do you think that turkey is? Probably about 15 yards, this turkey. That's the turkey's head. And you're going to put the bead, look down the barrel here real quick. You're going to put that bead, see the rib of the shotgun here?
Yep.
You're going to embed that bead down in the rib so you just see like a half moon. And that bead is going to go right on the turkey's major caruncles or right in the middle of its neck there. As you can see, there's a bullseye on the target. And so you're going to place that bead right on top of that, all right? And then you're going to shoot him in the face. Good. That's how it's going to go. Okay, commentary, Philip.
No, it's a lovely day. Couldn't ask for better weather, a better situation. I'm excited.
Okay, we're gonna run through this once. Let's let you feel it, and then get your reaction, and then we'll start to look at accuracy and kind of play a little bit around what we need to do in the field.
You were thrilled at this point, Phil.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was very much out of my element. So I didn't really know what to expect. I was just trying to take in what you were telling me.
Yeah, I mean, I
And,
think in all seriousness, I think being a mentor is about that feeling out process. Of course, we know each other from sitting around in the studio a lot of times, but those of you that are out there mentoring folks, you may not know them, or you may know them from other interactions. You may know them professionally, you may know them from work, you may know them from church, you may know them from, who knows? You know them from the corner store, you don't know. It's this, going to the range with someone, one, is a good way to kind of set the precedent for how you're going to communicate. Whether you trust that person, whether you're really going to take on the mentor role as like, I'll handle the firearms, I'll make sure we're safe, or you're going to cede some trust over to that person that you're working with. And these early interactions are a way to kind of get to know each other, but also to set a cadence, because you have to do this successfully, to mentor someone successfully, you have to be able to communicate with them and understand them, and they have to understand you. There's a lot of, even nonverbal communication in the woods, a lot of whispering, a lot of fast action. And so this is, to me, is like a good way to say, like, this is how we're going to communicate with each other. This is how we're going to be safe. This is setting a precedent for when we're out there, making sure we understand, kind of the step-by-step process of how we're going to handle some of these more intricate actions out there in the field. So that's what's going through my mind, to see how comfortable you are. I think immediately you were pretty comfortable with the weapon. Like, it wasn't something scary, or you didn't feel like you were nervous. You were nervous. You wanted to be accurate. You wanted to do it right. But I don't think you were nervous at the idea of felt recoil, were you?
No. I mean, I think you'll hear after you kind of gave me the go ahead to fire, there was a long gap. I was really trying to like remember all the things you told me, like 3 points of contact, like where's the sight pointing, like am I level enough, like am I holding the gun too close to my body, am I holding it too tight, or am I holding it too loosely, like am I leaning too far back, too far forward, and like all that kind of stuff. I was trying to process, like fire on the exhale, just like all that stuff. And so like I think there was some trepidation there, but I was never like uncomfortable or nervous like in that way. No.
So here we go. All right, we got Phil all figured out here. He's up. We're using a hydro sled and a Caldwell shooting table out here in the middle of this kind of really flat, arid public land piece. So you're all set up there, Phil. Does that feel pretty comfortable?
It does, yes. We've finagled it, and now I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, I forgot the target stand, so we're using a piece of wood and a bungee cord. Yeah. Much like is tradition in the turkey hunting space. Okay, I'm going to load this up for you, Phil. As soon as this action closes, it's going to be ready to fire. Now, when you're ready to shoot, all you got to do is push that safety, and then when you're ready to fire, put your finger inside the trigger guard and just tell me, ready to go.
Got it.
Okay.
It's great sound.
Right. Yeah, that is
good sound.
So here's the moment we'll pause.
It's not
you're
like a
asking
bad
questions.
thing that I'm going to have my hand under the magazine, like
no, you're
opening
fine.
the
you're fine.
loader there.
Just the further up on the forend you can get it, the better. If you hold it right here, you'll be just fine. And this is very natural. Like what's happening here? You're trying to get comfortable. I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Immediately when I load a shot shell and I say it's loaded, it's ready to go, your mood changes a little bit. I mean, like you're understanding now.
Oh, for sure.
A big loud thing could happen at any time.
Yeah, well, even just looking at the trigger and the trigger guard, how close the trigger is to the back of that trigger guard area, where I was like, oh, like this is like a hairpin. Like you barely have to squeeze for it to go off. So it's like I told you, I didn't grow up with guns, so all this stuff, being handed a shotgun when you're 30, I think it carries a little bit more weight and like
Certainly.
Context as an adult more than it would if you were 8 years old. So like it just kind of I was trying to be extra careful.
Yeah, I mean, all the time we've talked about this and thought about this, and we talk about mentoring a lot on the show, and we've kind of thought through what this would be. But this is one of the main points to remember if you are mentoring an emergent hunter, is as a child you're pretty locked in on whoever is mentoring you, whether it's your dad. You generally have a relationship with that person, right? Uncle, father, friend, whatever. But you don't have a general, no general knowledge of the social and cultural impacts of firearms, right? You also just don't have a general knowledge on ways people might die, right? You just don't sit around reading about gun accidents or reading about mass shootings. And so I know that those things are baked in, and I could tell, and I think this is very normal, that like when the finality of that shot shell in the chamber and me saying like, it's on you now, be safe, do this right. So you're immediately like, there's a question. Okay, what do I do? Where do I go? Elbows, hands, cheek. Where does this all go? And that's pretty natural, right?
Yeah,
I think so. So here we go. Yeah, just don't get this action is going to come back and forward, and this magazine will work in that action. Will work that next round into the chamber. But if you're there, you're just fine.
Okay.
And the goal here, with this first shot, was just to understand how everything works. No expectation, no nothing. Tell me when you're ready. Just say fire in the hole.
Okay. Now we got
a rancher. Oh yes.
I also didn't want to shoot the gun whenever anyone was driving by.
Yeah. It was totally fine. The road was completely it was in a very safe zone.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to.
It was I don't know if self-conscious is the word, but something about it just made me slightly uncomfortable.
Here we go. See him. Say when. Driving out of the
Fire
distance.
in the hole.
Okay. Go ahead and get set up on it. Get that cheek on the weld. Don't put that finger near the trigger until you're set up and firm. Make sure this is firm against your shoulder. Okay, you're good. Go ahead and place that finger on the trigger and pull slowly back towards you.
It's a lot of power.
It is. You killed that turkey.
All right, we're done. I did it.
Man. He didn't make it. Well done. What do you think there, Philly engineer?
That was exciting. Yeah. What a
I love it.
stupid
That's all I need
answer.
to hear.
I don't have a whole lot of words right now, but yeah.
There it is.
It was exciting.
A lot of pressure on you to say poignant things.
Yeah, I gotta say, I did not like you running up to me with a microphone as soon as I had shot the gun.
For the first time. I did that every time you shot, I think.
Yeah,
Probably. We won't bore you with the rest of the details, but suffice to say, like, we'll talk through a little bit of what happened, Phil. That first shot would have been every shot. I think you shot about 5 times, or maybe 7 times.
I think it was
actually.
7.
7 times.
Yeah,
total.
you shot one.
I shot one just to see. Everything was a little bit low.
Yeah.
A little bit to the left. I think the first 3 or 4 shots you would have killed the turkey, but you know, to understand, you know, we had about an 18-yard target. Again, piece of wood, bungee cord. It was kind of on the ground. We started you on a Caldwell shooting bench, a portable shooting bench that I have, and then a hydro sled, which is like a lead sled. It's a big shooting rest. So we started you there first, just so you could understand the mechanics of the situation and kind of mentally understand what's going to happen, just so we all had that mutual understanding. And then we did that a couple of times, took that away, brought in a Caldwell shooting bag, just so now you could feel the shotgun directly on your shoulder. We could talk about fit. We could talk about points of contact. We could talk about, you know, really, as I think you could talk about this a little bit. What came to, I think, really help you was like control the shotgun. Don't let the shotgun control you. Bear down.
Mm-hmm.
Like make sure you're on top of the gun. Don't let it buck. I guess would be a good way to say it. So talk people through how that progression went, because we went from just trying to understand to just trying to control the shotgun, but then trying to shoot for accuracy. Then we sat you up against a gate, you know, just like you would be up against a tree in a field, and did some more shooting. So talk people through how that all in your mind went.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like my aim, behind the gun, I felt like I was aiming properly.
Yeah.
And I was pretty consistent with where the shots were ending up, but it wasn't where I wanted them to end up. It was always just slightly low and slightly to the left. Yeah. And so then even when I tried to kind of compensate for that, which I don't know if was the right thing to do, it was still ending up kind of low and to the left. So I think and then you came in and were like, well, I specifically doing something. I think you were telling me that I maybe was kind of,
you were jumping the trigger a little bit, which is completely natural.
Mm-hmm.
Which jumping the trigger just means, you know, jerking it, pulling fast, not smoothly pulling through, right? So as you jerk the trigger, that's going to create, you know, really a different kind of action. And so I just talked about, let's focus on other things, right? Because there's a level at which when you're instructing someone on something like this, you can get in their heads if you give them too much instruction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you give them too many things to think about, and then
yeah.
And so I could just, to me, it was like, okay, let's because we talked about, you know, getting that, taking a breath in, and then as you let that breath out, just slowly pulling that trigger and the surprise shot. You know, we talked about that. But as I was watching, I'm like, well, I think if let's just get that gun seated correctly in your shoulder, and just control that thing. Just know that you're not waiting for the recoil, not worried about the trigger. You're just worried about controlling that shotgun. And then once we kind of got there, then you were right on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that was just, you know, openly through that process, just watching and trying to understand. And there's no one way to do that. You just gotta, it's interpersonal. You just gotta figure it out together. And again, if you're teaching somebody how to go hunt for the first time, especially if they're an adult, this is going to happen. You have to like work with each other, work as a team. It's not boss employee. It's two people trying to figure something out together. That's really what this is.
O'Reilly Auto Parts are in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly Auto Parts offer friendly, helpful service and the parts knowledge you need for all your maintenance and repairs. If you're confused about what part you need, like what wipers are going to be the best, what replacement headlights are going to be the best, go into O'Reilly and talk to the people that work there because they're great and they're super friendly and they'll get you squared away where you walk out knowing you got the right thing. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in-store or online, so you never have to worry if you're in a jam. Do you need your windshield wipers replaced? You need a brake light fixed? You need some quick service? They'll help you find the right part or point you to the nearest local repair shop for help. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto do-it-yourself, and you can find what you need in-store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/MeatEater. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/MeatEater. There's nothing like snook hook sets at dawn or catching a tarpon in the moonlight. Find your next fishing trip made easy on fishingbooker.com and experience the magic of the Sunshine State or any other destination on your fishing bucket list. Book a blue water adventure in search of sailfish or go snapper fishing with the kids. With over 6,000 captains and trips to choose from, planning your next one just got a whole lot easier. Download the Fishing Booker app on the Google Play or App Store or visit them online at fishingbooker.com to book your trip today. You ever get that feeling you're stuck inside staring at screens and a primal urge kicks in? You crave wide open spaces, fresh air, the chance to connect with the land. Well, maybe it's time to find your own piece of the wild, but searching for property can be a maze. That's where Land.com comes in. They got millions of listings across the country, from mountain ranches to hidden fishing holes. Their search tools are like a seasoned guide helping you narrow down what you want. Land.com isn't just about buying and selling. It's about finding a place to hunt, fish, explore, or simply sit by a campfire and listen to the crickets. So head over to Land.com today to turn one day into today. Because trust me, there's nothing quite like the feeling of standing on your own piece of earth.
I was happy by the end of the thing, and we got to go drive out. We got to drive by the mutant turkey on the way back out.
That's right.
So
Say goodbye.
Say goodbye. Goodbye, mutant turkey. Goodbye forever. So when we were driving out past the mutant turkey, we did a little recording just to talk about in the moment. So let's see what you said in reflection.
This is good because I do not remember anything that I said.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't remember either. So it's good. It's like this is a fun way to play it out for me and you. Maybe it's not good for the audience, but for us it's fun. Okay, Phil.
Yeah.
All right. The last shot, you blew the turkey's head off. You feeling good about that?
Yes, it was a good note to go out on. My best shot was my last shot. Just got to remember to kind of, you were telling me to bear down a little bit, keep that gun tight to my shoulder, and aim a little higher, I guess, was kind of what I did on that last shot.
Yes.
So,
well, I mean, that's it, man. That's why you come out here, so you can learn a little bit and experience it. And if you, all but one of your shots, you would have killed a turkey. So for your first time really doing this, that's like I said, I'm not worried at all. I have no concerns about the turkeys and what they'll do after Phil the engineer pulls the trigger.
Except the real ones will be like presumably walking around and moving, so that'll be another wrinkle. But I think I'm ready.
I think you're ready too.
Okay.
Well, what questions do you have about actual turkey hunting itself? We've kind of gone over it on the show a bunch of times, but do you have any questions about like the scenario for the morning?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so we're gonna set up decoys. You said about 20-ish yards away.
Yeah.
Is there a specific moment that the turkey will the turkey be doing something specific when it's strutting or checking out the decoys? Am I waiting for it to kind of stop and plant for a sec before I take the shot? I guess what's the opportune moment to actually take the shot, other than having a clear sight line and knowing the target and everything?
Yeah, so it all depends on how it happens. For your first turkey hunt, if it doesn't go the way we want it to go, we're just not going to shoot. Like that, if he comes in, he gets nervous and starts running around in circles and looks like he starts putting and looks like he wants to roll out, we're just going to let him go. We're not going to rush anything.
We're not going to be unethical. We're not going to force a shot if we don't need to. So the perfect scenario is when we set these decoys up, we're going to set them up in such a way that he has to come where we'll set up. I know this little meadow where we're going to go. We're going to set up the decoys where he basically, in almost all scenarios, probably 9 out of the 10 scenarios where a turkey might approach, he's going to have to come past us to get to the decoys. Okay. And for a myriad of reasons, but really because I want him to be focused on the decoys and looking towards the decoys, and we're not on the other side of those decoys, right? So we're going to set up so he has to come past us. So generally, once a full strut turkey or a gobbler, or any turkey that's interested in decoys, once they get full lock in on a decoy, they want to come. And I'm not going to say you can't do anything, but you can move around a little bit, you can adjust a little bit. I mean, people, in those situations, draw a bow. So have a full draw on a bow. That's a lot of motion that you won't need to have. So when that turkey comes in, you're going to be set up already like we just were. You'll be sitting against a tree. You'll have 3 points of contact. You'll be ready to go. You'll be putting that sight picture in your mind and getting ready. So literally just click the safety off, and when I tell you to shoot, you let it go. What you're looking for turkey-wise, there's a couple things we can do. If he's in full strut, his feathers kind of fluff up, right? His body kind of blows up. He lifts his wings. His tail fan is kind of up in the air, and his head is tucked into his body, right? And so it's not a full, that target we were just shooting at is just a full turkey's head, and that's it.
Yep.
In that case, when his head is tucked into his body, certainly I've shot turkeys like that. What I would like to do is I'll probably throw out a few clucks or just like one noise to get him to poke his head up, and then I'll tell you to kill him. Right?
Got it.
So when he puts his head up to look around like, what was that? Then you have a full, clear picture of that turkey, and hopefully a silhouetted head just like you had in that target. And so that's what we're looking for. Now, if we don't get that, if he's coming to the decoys, he sees something weird and he skirts us and he's around at like 30 or 40 yards and he just won't come in, we can talk about it at that point. I'll say, you comfortable? Like 30 yards, I think you can kill him. Like, are you comfortable? And the first time we go out, like, err on the side of caution, err on the side of thinking it through. And I will certainly tell you when I think that you are good to go. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to follow that order. Like, you can judge it for yourself. But I'll let you know when I think you're good to go.
Okay.
But if the turkey is in the decoys, if he is making contact with the decoys, if he's doing a dance with where we set our decoys up, he'll be in killable range for your shotgun. So that's really what the consideration is in terms of effective range and what we really want to see.
We're dry. Oh, there he is.
There he is. Is he there?
He's on the side of the house.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, there's two
There's two of them.
and some chickens.
Those are farm turkeys. I don't even understand what to do with this turkey. That is the craziest looking turkey that I've ever seen, dude.
It's like, oh man.
That is the wildest. I gotta get my phone out and film this turkey. I don't even know what to say about it. It's like
Mutant turkey.
see it though.
All right, that's it. That's wild. Oh, mutant turkey.
Yeah.
You once were. But again, I hope everybody's tracking here. I know that these are the essential parts, of mentoring someone. These are not the exciting parts, but they're the essential parts of like I said, getting to know someone, having them getting to know you, articulating yourself in a way that they can understand. And also, hopefully, Phil, I made you feel like you could ask questions and there was no dumb question. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, and one thing you just said a few minutes ago was about how you don't want to try to overload someone with information. I never got that at all. You kind of just let me feel it out, threw in a tip here and there, but it was never sort of like, do this, do this, do this, do this. Because if you had done that, I would have kind of probably shut down a little bit and been too worried about screwing up. So, yeah.
So now we're headed out hunting the next day to a spot that I'd been and never killed a turkey. Talked it up a lot. This was it. This was the moment that all of my talking and just grandeur about turkey hunting was going to come to fruition. There was going to be gobbles everywhere. It would be an early morning just crisp morning, birds everywhere. You get to see the natural world come to life in the springtime. You get to just feel the energy of the turkey woods. And this was in my mind what was going to happen. And that we were going to have this indoctrination into this cult-like mentality. Phil was finally going to be a part of the 10th Legion. Okay, Phil. What do you think, buddy?
It's not too cold, which is great.
That's good commentary.
It was great.
That's my first
warm.
thought.
It's warm in Montana.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Well, we're going right over here.
Okay.
There's a river, which will go unnamed, that goes obviously right here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of good roosting trees right on the river. The situation is, we got to go about a quarter of a mile to get to where I think they'll be and listen for them to be gobbling in the tree. The big problem here is they'll be in a tree 90% of the time on private land.
Yeah.
So we gotta sound like a turkey and have big plastic things that look like turkeys and get them to come to us on the public, which is pretty common with this type of hunting. So it's not academic. I've never killed a turkey in here before, but I've been on them every single time I've been here. So, okay, we'll stop there. That's interesting commentary by me. We'll see what happens. Phil, I will give you a compliment. Okay, you ready?
Thanks, man.
You were a very punctual turkey hunter. Like, you don't know how annoying it is for someone not to be punctual in fly down situations.
Okay, good.
You were flawless the entire time. You were on point. You were very willing. You were excitable. I feel like your number was pretty high by the time that, like, we were talking strategy here at the truck. Was it high?
Yeah, for sure. Mainly because I was just thrilled. Springtime in Montana can be a fickle bastard.
It can be a bitch.
There can be a foot of snow. It can be pouring rain. It could be lovely. It could be very windy, which it usually is.
Yes.
But that first morning was perfect.
It was. It was perfect.
And so I was just in a great, I set my alarm, woke up. I was ready to go. And then when I stepped out of my car in that lot we were in, it just felt, I was looking forward to it. I was ready for the day.
It felt good.
Yeah.
I had built it up in my own mind as well, and it felt good. I was ready for that first gobble. I was ready to, like, put my arm in the air in celebration the first time we heard a gobble.
Mm-hmm.
And to know where these turkeys are, make a plan, and show you kind of at least the interaction, right? The game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Right? We were going to have a nemesis turkey by the end of the day, I thought. And again, a lot of build-up here. A lot of pressure, a lot of build-up, a lot of pressure on me to create something here, to show Phil exactly what hunting is and what it's like, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. So a lot of things happen, in hunting. We're heading out, and then my fatherly notion is to make sure that I have everything first, and then to make sure Phil has everything he needs. We got decoys, we got shotgun, we got calls, we got everything we need. And then I checked one last thing. Phil forgot his license in the truck. Right. We're going back. We only got 50 yards from it. Okay. He forgot his license. Fine. It happens to the best of us. It was where? It was in your backpack?
Yeah, it was in my backpack. I didn't. I remembered to grab it in the morning.
Yeah,
that was good, right?
Yes,
Thank you.
lesson. Big lesson. Also, to go back a couple steps, Phil, when buying his license, this is something everybody should know. Like, in the state of Montana, you can print out your license, or they'll mail you the carcass tags. There's an actual license itself, and then a carcass tag, which when you fill your tag, you notch it, and that becomes the thing you attach to the carcass. Hence the term carcass tag. Phil got his license the night before the hunt, which is what I see most commonly people tend to do when it is over the counter. He gets his license online, and then at the end, what happens, Phil? You get Twitter-pated, you get confused, you're excited, you don't want to do it
They
wrong.
ask you a bunch of questions. One of the questions at the bottom was, because I had already printed my license.
Yes.
And then there was one more step where it was like, would you like to print your carcass tags now or have FWP mail them to you? And obviously, if I had spent 10 seconds thinking about it, I would have thought, oh, I'm going hunting tomorrow. I'm going to need these carcass tags as soon as possible. But I check marked, just mail them to me. I was not thinking. And then as soon as 5 minutes later, I had one of those moments, just like something went off in the back of my head, like, maybe I should call Ben and see if this is a problem.
I was like, that's going to be a problem. You're going to need those.
But luckily, Ben made some phone calls. I was able to go to the local Sportsman's Warehouse, and they could not have been lovelier.
They were very lovely to
Yes.
me on the phone. I called them. I said, I have this fellow. And they said, is it a boy? I said, no, it's a man.
It's a fellow.
It's a fellow man.
Yes.
She said, is this a child? I said, no, it's a man. It's his first hunt, and he needs a license, so they took care of you. And then now we resume our adventure.
Phil, one thing about hunting, at least in my case, it's really about forgetting things and then remembering them, or losing things and then finding them. We're wearing thousands of dollars of gear.
Sponsor.
And obviously we need that, or we wouldn't be able to fool this turkey we're about to go find.
Yep. See, that's sage advice, Phil. You remember that for next time. So off we go. The idea was to hit up a little clearing, a little pocket amidst the brush in this riparian zone, and listen and glass. We were pretty early again. We were probably 30, 45 minutes before fly down. So we had plenty of time, and that was by design. We had plenty of time to get in there, hear the turkeys, get set up, do whatever we needed to do to draw them for what I thought would be from private onto public. Like, this is the game I'm pretty sure we're going to play. And then just all hell broke loose. See? Amazing. You guys hear any gobbles?
Well, Phil, we've heard a lot of birds this morning, your first morning turkey hunting.
Yes.
But no turkeys, right?
As far as I know, no. And by as far as I know, I mean, I ask you and you say no.
Yeah, we're standing in a spot where I've never shot a turkey in here, but I've hunted it. This is about my 6th or 7th time being in here hunting, I think. And I've never not heard a turkey on the roost. And it is just about fly down here in another 5 minutes or so. And we've not heard a peep from a turkey. It's very demoralizing. Because it's kind of like, wow, you're going to go to this spot where there's turkeys and they're... as a turkey hunter, you have certain spots, Phil, where you're basically like, yep, at least we're going to get some action there.
Well, Phil,
this is when you started to spiral.
I spiraled so quickly. It wasn't even fly down yet, and I was spiraled. I was gone.
Yeah, at this point, I was not as bummed out as you, because I think you obviously had more expectations than I did. But I was expecting to hear
a turkey. We heard no turkeys.
None.
Not a turkey.
No.
Knowing that there were turkeys there. Like the way that this sets up, turkeys either fly across a river to go, which they will do, but I know there's turkeys here. They're just not gobbling. And as we said earlier, it's a fine morning. There's no excuses.
Lovely
morning. No wind, little to no wind. Probably 48 to 50 degrees, right around fly down. And this is like prime time. We have done everything right. You are punctual. We've trained. We've got the shotgun. We've talked about the scenarios. We've got our decoys. We've got thousands of dollars of gear. And here we are in the precipice of greatness. And the turkeys aren't gobbling.
No.
There's nothing that we can do to make them gobble. Did I make noises at them, Phil?
Oh, yeah. All kinds.
All kinds of noises.
Listen, and I've been lucky enough to have been exposed to and meet all kinds of incredible turkey callers.
Preston Pittman. Clay Newcomb. Janis Patelis.
I saw a bunch at NWTF. There was a GD competition. I saw people there.
competition.
You sounded great. You were calling. You're doing all kinds of clucks. You broke out the crow call, trying to get him to shock gobble.
I was doing some owl hoots.
Nothing
happened on Phil's first day of turkey. Not like, oh, did you whatever, it's far away. Nothing. Not a single one. Nothing. And there, what were we gonna do? There was nothing we could do. It was pure. We've been hunting for 48 minutes, and it was pure desperation at that point. I thought my entire life to that point was worthless, and that these 2 years of hunting, of knowing Phil and hunting and convincing him to go hunting, was going to be in vain.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in next time to hear what happened in part 2 of the coming of age tale of Phil T. Engineer. Any parting shots, Phil, before we head to the final episode? Cliffhanger.
Wow. I just want to ask you how this feels. You're setting up the final episode of the Hunting Collective.
Nah, fucking with the listeners a little bit. We can tell the whole story if we wanted to, but we're not going to tell you the whole story. It's a cliffhanger. Come on, we didn't hear any turkeys the first morning. Eventually, we heard turkeys. I can tell you that.
Ooh, whoa.
Find out next time on the Hunting Collective. Say bye, Phil.
Goodbye.
Clean your gun and tune your bow. We're the Hunting Collective Show. Calling hunters new and old. The Hunting Collective Show. Working pick and shovel or working pen in hand. We congregate now as lovers of the land. Mindful and we're focused. We're just living for the search. Dreaming of a fire and a salty gillbird. But we ain't coming back till it's cold and late. We're taking it slow so we can shoot straight. Clean your gun.